Greeting friends from wherever you are. Welcome to the International Webinar Ambassadors and Young Leaders Week 2020 with me, Michelle, who will accompany our great speakers and moderators as the master of ceremony during this event. The theme of this event will discuss science and technology. And this event will take over 2 hours from 5 to 7 p.m. Jakarta time, which will be moderated by Mr. Hilmi Al-Faruqi for the first session and Mr. Francesco Redi Caro for the second session. For your information, this event aims to stimulate a sense of awareness of the significance, extensive networking, and global collaboration among Indonesian people. The ultimate goal to overcome the present-day global crisis and seek for an opportunity to people to lead the world can study COVID-19 and its domino effects. Furthermore, please allow me to introduce our great speakers for today's session. First is Mr. Nikolai Ali Akbar, the President of PPI Tiongkok. And the second is Mr. Randy Fernanda, the President of PPI India. The third, Mr. Ali Iksanul Kauli, the President of Perpika or South Korea, and the Mr. Ferlito Arnold Sol, President of Permira or Russia. Before we begin, I would like to inform you that in this event, we are also raising funds for COVID-19, especially for our medical team who are at the forefront in fighting COVID-19. If you want to donate, please refer to the bank account number or scan the QR code as shown below or on your screen. Thank you very much to all of you who have contributed to the donation. Without further ado, I will pass the event to our moderators, Mr. Hilmi Al-Faruqi and Mr. Francisco Redi. The stage is yours.
Thank you, Ms. Michelle, for the time. Greetings. My name is Muhammad Hilmi Al-Faruqi. I'm a postdoctoral fellow at Chonam National University, Republic of Korea. I'm also chef editor of OISA Journal. First and foremost, I would like also to extend my warmest welcome to all audience. I will moderate our first session today with Mr. Nikolai Ali Akbar, President of Indonesian Student Association in Tiongkok, and also Mr. Randy Fernanda, President of Indonesian Students Association in India. Before we start, I will read our event background. The constant invention of new technologies has helped us survive different challenges in the past. Today, technology has entered into various aspects in our lives, such as politics, economics, and health. We are now in a time where everything is completely automated and connected with another. This is a term we familiarly address as the Industrial Revolution 4.0. Therefore, it is very critical that future emerging leaders are able to keep up with the constantly advancing technologies and use their full potential for the good of the country. Therefore, this session will discuss the role of science and technology in combating COVID-19 as well as preparing Indonesian global emerging leaders for a society where human and technology will live alongside one another. We hope we can learn a lot and get valuable insight from our speakers today. There will be a Q&A session and discussion with the speakers after the presentation. For those who have questions, please write your name and your country or region, followed by your question. We will choose the best question from the audience for the speakers to answer. Without waiting any longer, we invite the first speaker, Mr. Nikolai Ali Akbar, to deliver his presentation. With that, I ask you to give full attention to Mr. Nikolai Ali Akbar and help me in welcoming him to the stage. Mr. Nikolai Ali Akbar, the stage is yours.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hilmi, for the chance. Good afternoon in Indonesia's time, everybody. Good evening, or maybe even good morning in any kind of part of the world that wherever you are. Before we start, allow me to express my fullest support, fullest appreciation to the organizers who have organized this wonderful event, who have invited all of the young leaders, all of the leaders around the world to discuss the things that what we can do, what we can learn from our respective countries in the aspect of dealing COVID-19, especially in using science and technology in dealing with COVID-19 itself. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Nikolai Ali Akbar Falayati, or my friends usually call me Nico Akbar. Right now, I am the president of Indonesian Students Association in the People's Republic of China. And in this moment, in this occasion, I would like to share about how do China use science and technology to deal or to fight with COVID-19 itself. Well, when we talk about two things that were happening right now, the first thing is COVID-19. The second thing is about science and technology, or the technology and the IT itself, information technology. There is one country that comes into our mind directly. Which country is that? It is China. Why? Because China has been the pioneer of technological advancement in each era. The second one is because China is right now has become one of the pioneering technological advancement in the world, and as well as the country in which COVID-19 firstly present itself. Now, in my presentation, in this occasion, there are 4 main points that I would like to share with all of you guys. The first one is the China's technology advancement in two different perspectives, in the history perspective and in the present day perspective. The second one is the major rules of Chinese platform in dealing with COVID-19 itself, as well as the major roles of platform that science and technology platform in dealing with COVID-19. And the third one is what did they actually do in dealing with the pandemic itself. And the last one is what kind of lessons that we could learn from China's experience in dealing with COVID-19, and also in using technology in this fight against the pandemic. Okay, next to the next slide. Okay, next. We can skip this part. Okay. The next one is the first one is I would like to talk about the historical perspective of the Chinese technological advancement. Like since ancient times, China has become the pioneering country that has the most technological advancement beyond its era, in its respective era. The most prominent one is the 4 great invention, which is the compass invention, gunpowder invention, paper making invention, and the printing invention. These 4 great inventions, the inventions that was later called the 4 great inventions, it was the most prominent one, or the most prominent achievement of China in its era a long time ago, because with these 4 we could do almost literally anything in our daily life. We need gunpowder to make weapons. We need gunpowder to make fireworks. We need gunpowder to make anything that works in our daily life. We need paper and printing itself to perform our academical studies, to perform our pursue literature studies. So these 4 inventions is the biggest achievements that China has get a long time ago. But that was since ancient times, a long time ago. But what about now, in present days? What did they actually do? What did the China do in terms of technological advancement? It is on my next slide. Right now, because it is information and technological era, there are actually mainly 5 things that the China actually do, and these 5 things that they do, these 5 things that they establish and that they improve and that they research is being and will become the main features of our world in the future. The first one is 5G wireless technology. China has become one of the countries that have applied 5G wireless technology in some parts of its territory. The second one is artificial intelligence. The third one is the usage of big data. The third one is financial technology, as we can see through the financial platforms such as Alibaba, which has become one of the largest e-commerce platform around the world. And the medical and biotechnology advancement is also the most prominent one in this era. And by utilizing these 5 factors, the 5 components, China itself has fight along many stakeholders in their country to fight the COVID-19 itself. How do they actually do it? How do they actually use and utilize these five factors, these five items in dealing with COVID-19? What did they actually do? Then I will explain it. Okay, next. Okay, next. So other than the government policies, other than the government's rules, other than what the governments actually implement in fighting against COVID-19, but also the interaction, the relationship between the major roles of between the Chinese platform itself, it plays a great role in dealing with COVID-19. But how do they actually do it? But how do they do it in terms of in the general concept? There are four items. The first one is they create a community and share information within that. As we know, Chinese use many social media functions as well. For example, like Weibo, WeChat, QQ, and some other things. They use them to group themselves into several communities according to where they live, and in that small community, they share any kind of information that they knew about this disease itself, about the pandemic, about the COVID-19 itself. So the society, the citizens will keep up to date to any kind of information regarding COVID-19, regarding the how to say, regarding how to treat COVID, how to deal with COVID-19 from the government and the government's official announcement, and etc. The second one is fight for trust, especially and in this era of data secrecy, data and data transparency, there needs to be trust between the government and between the citizens itself. So by utilizing the Chinese platform, it could gain more trust for the government from the citizens itself. The second one is to support social welfare of the citizens through the usage of applications like mobile apps such as we call it Meituan, or the Meituan Waimai, or the other things that they provide some facilities so that the citizens could order foods online without even having any actual physical interaction with people. So they could still get what they need, and they could still be safe from the pandemic of COVID-19 itself. And the fourth one and the last one is to help ecosystem partners and workers. As we may know right now, there are one terms that has been related with work in the COVID-19 pandemic era, which is work from home or work remotely from your home, working online from your home. So the China has been implemented this kind of work environment since the outbreak of the disease itself. So they told all of the workers, all of the government officials, most of them, to work in their home instead coming to the office to reduce the infection of COVID-19. Okay, next. Now that's the general things that they do. That's the general main points that they do. But exactly in terms of science and technology, what did they actually do? Mainly, there are four things that is related with usage of or utilizing of the technology in dealing with COVID-19. The first one is real-time screening. It used an AI-powered non-contact infrared sensor system that provides users with fast multi-person temperature monitoring. They can quickly detect a person if they are suspected of having a fever, which is one of the many symptoms in the coronavirus infection or the COVID-19 infection. As we can see in this picture, it is the usage of the real-time screening machine in one of the stations in Beijing, and it could detect up to 200 people in 1 minute without even disturbing the people's traffic itself. So with this real-time screening, the officer itself could get an actual condition of the people passing by, whether they have a high fever or not. If they have a high fever, then they will be separated from the others, and they will be tested for another for further testing if whether they have COVID-19 or not. The next one. The second one is the automating healthcare, using AI or artificial intelligence to they can quickly detect and identify the pneumonic lesions while providing quantitative assessment for diagnosis information, including the number, volume, and proportion of the pneumonic lesions. As we know, since COVID-19 itself is attacking our respiratory system, so the appearance of pneumonic lesions has been one of the diagnosis criteria to detect whether this person have a problems in the respiratory tract or not. If the person respiratory tract is troubled, then they will be further assessed whether they have COVID-19 or not. As we can see in this picture, this is the CT imaging analysis powered by Baidu's open source deep learning platform. This is the first time in China that has been used in one of the hospital there to deal with the patient that is suspected as having COVID-19. So they use CT scan to detect whether CT scan combined with artificial intelligence to analyze the data of the patient's condition, whether they really are having COVID-19 or not. And this is the China's first open source AI model for pneumonic CT imaging. The third one, next. The third one is, and the most prominent one that we also use, and after the COVID-19 become a global pandemic, it is globally used, is the big data tracking by using AI-powered mapping systems to identify the flow of travel across high-risk areas using Baidu Maps. So for those of you who are wondering what is Baidu, Baidu is one of the biggest technology company in China. So in around the world, we have Google, and Google like conquers everything related to technology. But in China, since Google is banned, so they use Baidu instead. And Baidu is one of the conqueror or emperor of technology in China. So using Baidu Maps, and one of their features is Baidu Maps, the same as Google Maps, similar to that. It's like the Chinese version of the Google Maps. Migration big data platform, the population movements out and come from Wuhan can broadly track the early spread of the coronavirus. So by using this AI-powered COVID-19 viral impact tracking, we could track which areas is safe, which area has been infected by COVID-19, which areas is a green area, it's a safe zone or a red zone, and this all happened actually in real time. So every day they always updated the data, they always updated the tracking map itself. The next one. And the fourth one is the usage of autonomous vehicle. The usage of autonomous vehicle to transport food, as well as reducing human-to-human physical contact in order to prevent COVID-19 infection. And with the daily deliveries, this initiative is helping feed over 100 frontline staff members as they work to treat growing patient base. So in the hospital, in one or two hospitals in Beijing, since they need to reduce the physical contact with human-to-human physical contact, they need to reduce that. So in order to deliver food, in order to maintain the healthy and the warmth of the food they deliver, they use this autonomous vehicle. And as you can see in, I don't know if you can read the Chinese character there, but it is stated "Xianzuo Re Shi." It means that the food is warm and just currently cooked. So they transport fresh and warm food through this vehicle in the hospitals for the health professionals there, since they couldn't leave their post, since they couldn't have any physical contact with other humans other than outside the hospital. Okay, now these are the four things related to the utilizing of science and technology in China to deal with COVID-19. Now, what lessons can we really learn from the China's experience in dealing with COVID-19? Mainly, there are four items that I would like to share with you. Next. Okay, you can skip to the next. Mainly, there are four items. The first one is in dealing with COVID-19, we need to contain the spread of the infection itself. So by locking down some of the red zones, so-called red zones, by using a lockdown strategy is one of the strategy that they use to contain the spread of COVID-19. The second one is keep informed by utilizing the social media, by utilizing the AI tracking map. The people could still get informed about the current and actual condition of the pandemic itself in the country. The third one is to ensure the quality of life. So even though they couldn't go anywhere, even though they couldn't have a physical contact with any other person outside, but the usage of technology in China still ensure them to still have a life full of quality, to still have full of meaning by using the mobile apps or by using other media platforms to still keep in touch with the people they love, to still keep in touch with the work they need to do, and to reignite the productivity. It is related to the third one because no matter how we do, no matter what kind of situation we're in, we need to keep productive, no matter whether it's outside or staying inside or in lockdown, not lockdown, we still need to keep productive. And by using the technology, we could still keep productive even though we didn't go anywhere, such as the webinar that was being organized right now is one of the example, a simple, very, very simple example of utilizing the technology to keep our productivity in check. And for the last one, I would like to share a quote from one of the most prominent figure in China. Could you skip to the next slide? Which is Jack Ma, which is one of the founder of Alibaba, one of the biggest e-commerce in China and as well as in the world. He said that I believe it's not a technology that changed the world. It is the dream behind the technology that changed the world. So I hope that with the usage and utilizing of technology, whether it is in the context of fighting COVID-19 pandemic or in the context of our daily life or in the context of our work life, we will not forget that the technology is not the one who shape us, but we are the one who shape the technology in the way we wanted it to be, in the way we needed it to be. So that's all I can share in this session. Hope you guys could get some useful information and knowledge. I apologize if there is some missing in my presentation, and I would like to end it and this presentation with greatest gratitude for the chance that was given to me to share this with you. Thank you, and I will give it back to the moderator.
Thank you, Mr. Nikolai Ali Akbar, for delivering the talk. That was very impressive presentation. I would like to express some of the key points that we have heard. First of all, it is clear that China has valuable lessons for the world in how to fight COVID-19. And regarding our topics, how China utilizes the science and technology, it is important also to highlight that a nation should use any available technologies to overcome this pandemic, especially the use of AI-powered technologies. For example, the real-time screening, automating healthcare system which can rapidly detect and identify the pneumonic lesions, for example. And also it's important to use big data tracking technology to track the spread of the coronavirus. And this utilization of autonomous vehicle also that can reduce human-to-human interaction should also be considered. This very, very great lesson that we can take from China. Thank you very much, Mr. Nikolai Ali Akbar, to share this very interesting information. And next, we will move to our second speaker, Mr.